Matthew Festing was elected the 79th Grand Master of the Order of Malta earlier this year. He is the second consecutive Englishman to lead what is the world's oldest order of chivalry, with roots going back to the First Crusade. Despite their militaristic name and history, the order's responsibilities are to offer medical assistance in more than 100 countries around the world. During a recent conference in Rome, Festing noted that religious organizations like the one he leads occasionally run into problems with local laws on separation of church and state.
One of the previous speakers today was talking about the business of government legislation which may require hospitals to start, all of them, providing abortions. That's a very good example of the way which we have difficulties with, because of course obviously as a Catholic organisation we can't be party to going against the teaching of the Church. So that is certainly an issue for us. And there are a number of areas where the thing has to be thought about carefully, and obviously if it's not possible for us to operate, well then the answer is we don't.
An important element of the Knight's work is that the organization and its members remain politically neutral. That neutrality was a great benefit for them when they were providing assistance after a recent disaster.
Is because we're extremely careful to be absolutely non-aligned and non-political. One of the most interesting things we were able to do recently, of course, is to continue work in Myanmar, in Burma, where practically no other agencies, particularly if they were in some way nationalist, or not particularly nationalist, but from a particular nation, the Myanmar authorities, of course, would not allow people in, whereas we, in fact, have been able to do quite a lot of very good work there.
But even after a disaster or a conflict is over, that doesn't always mean that the work of the Knights of Malta in a country is done.
Very often we have an initial intervention which is dealing literally with feeding people and providing basic medicines. And then as time goes on, we find ourselves helping in different ways. So for example, I've just been to Latvia, which for instance now wants help probably with looking after street children and probably also maybe with old people, because they need to develop the provision for the elderly. So that's certainly something which we're looking at.
What's next for an organization with such a long and illustrious history? Festing says they plan to use their centuries of experience in aiding the poor, sick, and unfortunate to build on what they are already doing and to be prepared for whatever challenges come their way.